We had another big weekend at the box office with Barbie retaining its number one spot, making in what was it again? Oh, 91 to 93 million dollar range, which is the perfect and second best weekend Warner Brothers has ever seen in their lives, which is actually coming at a good time for them because The Flash is set to lose hundreds of millions of dollars for them. So this will help offset the costs of that. But now that the movie is being really successful, we're seeing the inevitable controversy around it. So we got this right here from MovieWeb. Barbie's Rotten Tomatoes unverified audience score begins to rally following wave of negative review bombing. So there's an issue with the whole verified, unverified audience score, but I will get to that just a little bit longer in the video. But for right now, it's saying it started off this saw the film's approval rating slump to 71% after riding high for its first several days on release. However, if the unverified reviews are removed, then the verified reviews fall pretty much in line with the approval rating of critics, currently sitting on the impressive 89%. Rotten Tomatoes has started splitting out verified and unverified reviews from audiences on some of the biggest releases to try to take away the power of review bombing, whether for better or worse. Okay, so right now we go over to the Rotten Tomatoes score, and this is what we're seeing right now. So 86% and 89% with critics. Okay, but if you click on it and see what the all audience score, it's lower. And I believe this was 90% last weekend, so it did slide back, and they're saying it's the all audiences review bombing it or bringing it down. Well, 74% right here. If you jump over to IMDb, it's pretty much exactly in line with what IMDb is showing. And you can see right here, I love this graph right here just to kind of see where it happens. And doesn't that seem strange? I mean, I think the review bombing is going both ways a little bit. There are people who probably passionately hate it and people passionately love this, but like I said, if you were to get these 1 stars and just assume it's review bombs and deduct it from what the 10 is, that means the 10 graph would probably go to around here, which means you have what is a standard bell curve, which means 7.5 out of 10. That doesn't seem like a bad score right now, and I think that's probably more in line with what it's doing in the theaters or how people see it, because I don't necessarily trust how the verification process works. This is actually what Rotten Tomatoes does discuss about their whole process of verified versus unverified. If you scroll down at the end here, it says tickets purchased through Fandango, AMC Theaters, Regal Cinemas, and Cinemark have signed up to participate in our verification program. So what you do is you buy your tickets through one of these outlets, on your app, online, whatever. And if it's the same email that it's on these accounts is the same one for Rotten Tomatoes, then you count as a verified user or verified audience when you put your review. But let's say you didn't buy it through one of these outlets right here, or you bought it at the actual box office, or you used a different email address when you have these ones, then it's not going to count as a verified user or verified audience member when you leave your review. So that's why you get some discrepancy with it, why there's some issues with it, because it does imply that when it's an all audience versus verified, that means all audience are not necessarily people who actually watch the movie, and that's not the case at all. So I tend to look at this to see what the actual audience score is. I mean, at a glance you can see this, but I think this is more accurate personally, because like I said, this does more fit the standard bell curve of what you would see, because this is kind of strange when it's up, down, up like this. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But either way, I don't think this really matters too much for the bottom line, because if you look at the box office, Barbie's going to do well. They're on track to make over $1 billion. Warner Brothers is happy. The people who made Barbie's happy. Mattel's happy. So this is a huge nothing thing right now, because it doesn't matter. If you like this movie, good for you. I mean, if you don't like this movie, good for you. Because I mean, I know people are saying like, oh, it's because of the messaging and stuff in there is why this is being dragged down and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, there's some of that going on, but surprisingly enough, I've seen people who actually like rallied against woke messaging and stuff, saying it's kind of overblown in this movie, and other people saying it's really front and center. I think what it means is it's really a matter of opinion on this, because if you're making some movies, like some movies do have messaging in it that's really front and center in your face, and obviously that turns off a lot of people, and they even market the movies of such. Like Ghostbusters 2016 was one of those movies that they really pushed that messaging, and obviously everyone rallied against that one because they did not like it. This one, it's more subjective. So I mean, maybe in the future studios will be like, hey, if we have messaging and we want to put in it, we have to make it subtle, otherwise we'll turn people away, which is probably the smart thing to do. Don't make it so prominent in your movie and make it more ambiguous whether that's what you're going for, and I think you'll see more success. But I mean, if you're going to take away from this, like, no, we need to either have no messaging or just make it really prominent, then I think they're learning the wrong thing from this right now. But I don't know, leave a comment. Do you think that there actually is strong messaging in this movie, if you've seen it or not? Or what about the whole review bombing thing? Do you think it does happen both ways or not? And if you do like this video, make sure you click that like button, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with this latest news. Thank you.